and welcome to AfterBuzz TV. This is Survivor Season 37, Episode 4, Bring About the Charm. Apocalypse, like an apocalypse. So tonight we have an idol nullifier in play, a tribe swap already, and another blindside. So stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
AfterBuzz TV, this is the Charm Apocalypse in here.
Charm Apocalypse, you guys, it's been so long.
I miss you so much. Oh my God. We're all here and we're all in matching outfits. I mean, it doesn't get much more like loving than this. We just spend too much time together now.
We
that
really
do. We match
Veronica,
every day.
It's your fourth week, but
yeah, but
you're in, baby. You're
not getting rid of us now.
It's like we were deserted on an island.
Oh my God.
Oh, look at that.
Playing a game.
Yeah, playing a game. Here we are. Thank you guys for joining us tonight for Survivor on AfterBuzz TV. I'm your host, Paige Bonanno, and my co-host for tonight.
Hey guys, Veronica Valencia here.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Timothy Michael.
You guys, Episode 4, Bring About the Charm Apocalypse.
Yeah.
We're bringing it tonight. Great episode.
Great episode.
Very great.
Really good episode. Before we start, make sure to give us a like, subscribe, let us know how we're doing in the comments on YouTube, and we hope you guys are joining us in the live chat tonight. I know we're at a little bit of a different time, but you guys already might be tuned in at this point, so thank you for being here.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you guys, overall thoughts on this episode?
So good.
So good.
I was so impressed.
I was very impressed too. It was exciting. There was a lot going on. I mean, from literally the first minute
Yes.
till the end was like, it was just 100 miles per hour. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. And I loved it.
Yeah, really good episode, I thought. Like you said, from the beginning, I mean, we'll kind of just dive right in because from the beginning, it starts off like very crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we see something we haven't seen in a long time, but B pulled herself from the game. She wasn't medically evacuated. She pulled herself, which I, for one, think was a great decision on her part. It sucks, and I know that it probably just tore at her heartstrings to have to do that to herself, but I'm proud of her. I think she made the right decision.
I felt kind of bad for her in a different sense. She did technically pull herself from the game. She, like you said, Paige, she wasn't medically evacuated. But I feel like people who quit on Survivor typically quit because they can't handle it, and then they get kind of put in this group of like, you know, quitters, like we don't really like the quitters or anything. And it's just like, but she quit for a legitimate reason.
Right. I don't think that she's going to receive any backlash for the reason that she left. I mean, I really liked B. We're doing our fantasy draft tonight as a reminder to our fans, because everybody loves when we do our fantasy draft. We love when we do our fantasy draft. And I was going to pick her as my first person because I was so attached to her story. You guys talked about Jeremy's story last episode. And I was really attracted to her story and just her as a person. So I was really, really bummed that she had to pull herself.
Yeah,
I was too.
And honestly, like self-care, I think she needed to take care of herself for sure. 100%. I mean, she's an athlete and she's like, this is my livelihood. Like, I am an MMA fighter. Like, I won't be able to work if it's not for this. Like, I think that she made overall the right decision, but that sucks, dude.
It does.
That sucks. And she sprained her MCL.
Yeah.
And she said that she had torn it a few years ago or sometime past, and she knew. Like, she's like, I know my knee. I know it's sprained, and I have to go. So I wonder, had she stayed in the game, I mean, she obviously wouldn't be doing any of the physical challenges.
No.
She would just be having to do puzzles. I mean, do you think that there was a way that she could have stayed in the game?
No.
No.
There's no possible way. Even with the puzzles, there's still a lot of running from your tribe members. Everybody has to run to the mats. Everybody has to run to the boats. So, no, there was no possible way. She would have been holding everybody back.
Yeah, well, not only that, in the previous episode, we literally just talked about how the Davids saw her as their strongest person to do the heavy lifting of the challenges.
Yeah.
So if that was her position, there's no way she could have stayed.
No.
And I wonder if, because right after the challenge, Jeff said, hey, the challenge last week when she got hurt, Jeff said, hey, B, we're going to have the team come take a look at your knee. I wonder if they had told her it is sprained or if that was something that she just knows about her own body and she's like, I can't do it. And if they had suggested, we suggest that you leave, or if they were like, hey, this is totally your decision, like you can stay.
I think they made it her decision. I feel like if they want to pull somebody, just like we saw with Pat in the beginning of the episode, if they want to pull you, they're going to pull you. And I feel like they left it up to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think she made the right decision.
Yeah. Let us know what you guys think in the live chat. I mean, I don't think, from what we've said, I mean, I don't think it's too much of a question in my mind, but I'd be interested to see if somebody else has a different point of view. But nice job, B. We miss ya. And we hope
You
to
were
see you
great.
again.
Yeah.
Hope to see you again. And like a second chance season. Let's do another second chance season.
That would be fun.
Those were fun.
I
Yeah.
love second chance.
Yeah, and Pat could even come on because we literally had
Yes!
2 people leave
Yeah.
voluntarily.
Within the first 10 days.
Not voluntarily, but I mean,
Yeah.
medically.
Medically. Right. Well, right away then, we're switching tribes. Right after this, I feel like there wasn't really another choice because 3 Davids were already gone.
Right.
And they didn't have enough people to really move forward. So it was good to see that right away. I like that. I'm into it.
I always find these kind of funny because it's like clearly there has to be something going on behind the scenes with the producers that they knew B was going to pull out, because how would that have worked with, you know, them splitting up? Because Carl ended up going to Exile because he was
Right.
the only person. Like, if she was still in here, what would have happened?
Right.
Yeah.
It's
So
not coincidence. It's
not
TV
coincidence.
magic.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So we made our 2 tribes into 3, and Carl was the one that didn't get a color, so he was going to Exile, which wasn't something that I even was thinking was going to happen.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about Exile for a minute, and then he didn't pull one. I was like, oh, it's going down.
Yeah.
So orange is Vuku. We have 3 Goliaths: Natalia, Kara, and Alec. On the Davids, we have Davy and Elizabeth. Tiva is green, which is for Goliaths. We have John, Dan, and Allison. On the Davids, we have Christian and Gabby. And then purple is our new tribe.
Jabini.
Jabini? What the heck is that? Jabini. Okay, you guys are just pulling stuff out. Like, what does that mean?
I mean,
Somebody look it up. Let us know.
They usually pull from the names of islands.
Yes,
where
yes.
they're located.
Where they are in Fiji. I just thought it was funny because I'm like, what is that? Like Vuku, Tiva. I feel like these are things we've heard before kind of from
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they're like, Jabini. I was like, rewind.
you're like, was there a magic trick? I don't understand.
Jimmy. And then from Goliath, we have Natalie, Mike, and Angelina. And then on the Davids, we have Lursa and Nick. So it's funny because on each tribe, we have a Goliath majority.
I'm already saying it now. Tiva is going to be my new favorite tribe until they switch again.
Okay,
Just
all
because
right.
the dynamics of all the people on those tribes make me so happy.
Yes, Christian and John. Come on.
I love it.
Can
Yeah.
you get better than
Yeah.
that? So, I mean, what do you guys think of our new tribes in general aside from that?
Well, I'm glad Dan and Kara split up.
Yes,
And I'm kind of
yes.
glad that Christian and Gabby are still together. Is that weird?
No, it's
No.
not weird. I mean,
It keeps her calm because we all know that she is a little bit on
Yes.
the whinier side. She gets a little too paranoid and gets in her own head and gets emotional.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she kind of needs to stay with Christian so that she doesn't, you know,
right.
like
Yeah.
put a target on her back.
Well, the thing about Gabby is, and like I'm moving a little bit forward, but since we're talking about this dynamic between Gabby and Christian, I agree. Like, it's nice for them to stay together because I feel like I don't know really what Gabby would do other than that. But we've seen from Gabby so far that she's. I like Gabby too. I'm not talking
do
bad
too.
about her, but just from a standpoint of being a viewer, like, she's very whiny. She's extremely whiny, and basically. She's like, you know what? We switched these tribes and I'm just not happy with the way things turned out. And she's bawling and crying about it. And I'm like, girl, you got to pick yourself up and you got to go. This is Survivor. Stuff like this happens. You can't cry to your only ally. You need to be making relationships
Yes.
with these
Yeah.
people
Yes.
that you're saying, oh, I can't really relate to them. I get that. I understand it. If your personality is a certain way, it's hard to relate to other people that you feel like, oh, they're so different than me. They're intimidating. But you also have to try. You have to put yourself out there. This is your one shot.
But in all fairness, I can take my hat off to the fact that she recognizes that she is uncomfortable with these people, and that's the reason why she doesn't want to speak to them. And the whole time while she was whining and sitting there, and she's like, "If we lose, I feel like I'm on the outs." And in my head, I was like, "Well, then you better not lose." And all props to her, she made sure that she did not lose tonight.
Exactly.
She killed.
From the get-go, I felt like I was really going to like Gabby, and like you, Paige, I do like Gabby. I just wish she wouldn't play so much on her or like be so emotional.
And I wish she wasn't so hard on herself either.
Yeah.
Like, she's very, we see a lot of she's a little bit
Deprecating?
Yeah, she doubts herself a lot, which
Yeah.
I think that she's a great player. I think she's strong. I think she's smart. I don't think she has any reason to doubt herself.
No.
But I will also say, like I said, it's hard sometimes when you feel like you can't really connect with these people. But I also feel like, the Goliaths that we have, so we have John, Dan and Allison. And I do feel like what we've seen from them so far is very warm, very welcoming. And I feel like there's almost a little bit of a preconceived notion of these Goliaths.
Agreed, especially with John. And he's
Yeah,
the one that
yeah.
surprised me the most because I thought that he would be the one that was just so macho and doesn't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
But he seems to be the one that's like, I don't know, I feel like he is like the...
He's
I
the
don't
mayor
know.
of Slam Town!
Yeah, I don't know. I really like him.
No, he puts on this persona for pro wrestling, but it's like he says himself, when I'm out on the island, I'm me. And I think he seems like a great guy.
He does seem like
He
a really
seems
great
very
guy.
genuine. And like, it's his career. It's what he's doing, but that's not who he is.
I am so excited about this bromance forming
Yes.
between him and
Yes.
Christian, and the
Agreed.
fact that Christian is just so into Slamtown.
Yes.
Last episode when they were talking about it, I was like, does he think Slamtown is a real place and he's actually the mayor? Oh my gosh, but I think it was all a joke, and I still just love it.
The Slamtonians, you guys. And he was, the thing about, I do love their dynamic. I think they have a great relationship. Christian's hilarious.
Yes.
Like, he just wants to know all the demographics of Slamtown. It's funny. But also, I like how John kind of opens up with us and says, when I'm not the mayor of Slamtown, I kind of get a little bit almost David-like, and I kind of recluse a little bit, and I run out of things to say to people too. So it's like when you really get to know these people, and like Christian had said when he was comforting Gabby, was that
they have their vulnerabilities too. They just don't like to show it. I
Yes.
loved that quote
Yes.
because we all do.
he's looking at it from more like an objective standpoint of, hey, you guys, we're all the same. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? We're all different, but we're all the same. We all have our vulnerabilities and we all have our insecurities. And you know what? We can be friends.
And I love that Survivor tackles that.
Yes.
I love that is brought up and that is the topic that we're talking about because I
Agreed.
think that's great.
Yeah, agreed. So I'm happy with the tribe swaps overall. Carl's in exile, but he finds a clue / riddle, a coconut that ends up giving him an advantage. I mean, what do you guys think of? This is brand new, the idol nullifier.
I really, really like this idea.
Mm-hmm.
I do, but I can just see it failing.
It's like gonna crash and burn
You
me.
know what? Even if it fails, and I do see your point, this is a very hard advantage to use correctly. But I like that the fact that I'm all over the place right now. I like the fact that the writers are trying something different, and I think the idol nullifier is going to be really cool in seasons to come because if it is used correctly, or even if it's not, they will continue to use this because I think it's a really cool idea.
Yeah,
and we've been begging for them to use something different.
Exactly, and they finally have, which I'm happy about. But yeah, I feel like he has to be very wise in order for this to work. It has to be played correctly. And is he going to tell people? Is what I'm wondering because this is brand new.
I feel like and this is not maybe to jump the gun too much, but I feel like he might tell Davey because they were both blindsided with B and Jessica out. Now it's kind of the two of them on the outs of what was previously the Davey tribe. Davey has an idol, so I feel like, and with Carl having the nullifier, they could be a very big dynamic duo and a threat.
Yeah, they could be. Definitely.
Guys, if you are loving Survivor as your after show, our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows. From dramas, reality TV, which you're watching right now, sci-fi, and more, there is no network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about pesky notifications, don't be, because they're optional, which is always great. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel and check out our other AfterBuzz TV YouTube channels as well. Let us know that you did in the comments, and we'll be sure to shout you out on air, as we always do. For now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk. You guys are the best.
Yes, you guys really are the best. We love when you join us and join in on the conversation. You guys make this really fun for us.
Yeah, we love it. We
Yeah.
love you guys. We love the show, obviously. We love each other.
We love
We
everyone.
love each other.
Look at our matching selves. Aren't we cute, you guys? They're like, no.
They're like, get back to the show.
Right, all right. Well, this is the perfect time to move into immunity. The first tribe to win. So basically, 2 tribes are immune, and the first one gets a reward as well, which is food and lots of fun goodies.
Not just food,
Coffee.
like brownies.
Oh, okay.
you like
Oh, they looked so juicy.
Right?
They looked so good.
Juicy is not a word that I've heard a brownie be described as before.
Like
but I like that,
moist.
Veronica.
I guess
Moist. Favorite word.
I guess that's the word I was going
Yeah.
for, but I
You
know
didn't wanna
people have
say
an issue
it?
with that word, so
I mean,
juicy.
I would be more excited about the coffee, to be honest. He's like, you could have ice, you could have drip. I'm like, oh, we're like getting Starbucks in here. Like, they don't have any type of food, and then all of a sudden they can have whatever kind of coffee they want.
Yeah, seriously.
But I thought it was a really cool challenge. They were blindfolded, so it really relies a lot on teamwork. What did you guys think of the challenge overall?
I personally, when Jeff was saying that they would have a caller, this would be a caller type challenge, I am not a fan of those types of challenges just because it's like, I feel like if I was in their positions, I would get so irritated with people just barking at me left and right. But I did like this one because it was more of a, like, they were more enclosed and they weren't yelling. It was like, okay, go to the left, go to the right, because they were so close to each other.
Yeah.
I like this one as well. I always get nervous with the whole blindfolded challenges because somebody always winds up like banging into something, and I'm always worried I'm like, there's going to be another medical evacuation because this is dangerous. But it obviously worked out fine. I actually really liked how they did it. I like how Gabby kind of made a name for herself, if
Yeah.
you will. I
Rose
feel
to
like
the challenge.
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed seeing people step up to the plate.
I will agree with you though. Whenever they do blindfolded ones, and especially today, I was nervous. Like there were so many times when they were on the side of their little ramp where they totally could have fell off and like got a big gash or something. So those do make me nervous. But and also with the teamwork and stuff, I thought we would see a lot, like you were saying, Veronica, about how people bark at you and this and that. I thought we would see more of Natalie being like, all right, where are we going, blah, blah. We heard one thing out of her. It wasn't bad. I was like, okay, girl. You're doing better.
Angelina snatched that up real quick. She was like, don't panic. We're fine.
She did a great job. She's like, Natalie, don't panic.
The irony is that Natalie is very good at telling people what to do, and the fact she wasn't in that position is kind of just funny to me.
I was wondering like what it would have been like if she was the one on the wheelbarrow thing that they were pushing and she was the one barking out the orders.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting. They probably didn't put her on that for a reason.
I'm pretty sure she volunteered, and they were like, no.
But Green wins.
Sorry, speaking of which, really quick, I actually was on the same page as you. I thought Natalie would be on the wheelbarrow or whatever that was.
Yeah.
Because she hasn't shown her physical side yet.
Right.
And her carrying that wheelbarrow with somebody else on it, that was pretty impressive.
But she's
for
also
her.
a lot stockier. She's not big by any means, but she's a lot stockier than Angelina.
No, but I mean, just seeing her do a physical challenge by lifting up, I was like, oh, so you can do physical challenges. Good for you.
And that's the funny thing is, this is the perfect challenge for her to sit on the freaking thing and bark orders. Like, this is perfect.
This was her challenge.
This was it. But hey, maybe she's switching roles a little bit. She's trying to contribute a little more. Hats to you, Natalie. But anyways, Gabby killed it, like you said. She really won it for her team, and I was glad to see that because she was so nervous the night before. And then we have to have Vuku going to Tribal. So, I mean, overall, I thought it was a great challenge.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Very fun one.
Definitely. So when we go back, I mean, Paranoia just strikes
Always.
right off the bat. Davey basically tells Goliath, well, first of all, Elizabeth is like, I know where the idol is. We got to go run and find it. And Davey's just playing along like, all right, yeah. And he's like, but I have the idol. It's in my pocket. But he realizes that we're Goliath strong here. We have 3 Goliaths. It's me and Elizabeth. I got to go to plan B. So because he doesn't want to use his idol so early, which props to him. I feel like I might just be like, oh, well, I guess I got to use my idol tonight and just use it and not see. That's why I don't know how good I would be at Survivor.
See, I would, if I really felt like they were Goliath strong and I wasn't weaseling in and I wasn't having a gut feeling that things were going to change, I would try and use it because that's where some of the frustrations lies is people have these idols and we're like, I don't want to use it right now. I don't want to use it right now. And then they go home with an idol in their pocket.
And every time I'm so safe about it. Every time somebody has an idol and I even hear their name for a second, I'm like, they got to play it tonight. They have to play it.
I'm on the same page as you, Paige. But I also agree with Veronica. I think that he should play it not only if his name is thrown out, but I also think it's because you're protecting your numbers here.
Yes.
I mean, if you think about it, it's Goliath versus David's. Even though you guys all swap tribes, it's still this team versus this team.
Right.
So you should probably want to keep your numbers stronger than theirs because when the merge happens, you want more of your people than.
So you're saying he should have played his idol?
I'm just saying that would
Not
be one
should
of
have,
that would
but-
have been one of my contributing factors to playing it.
To expand on the point you were making, Timothy, I'm surprised he didn't share the idol, that he had the idol with Elizabeth just because they were in lesser numbers. Granted, they probably don't have a great relationship from their previous tribe, but if they really thought it was going to be one or the other, they could have tried to play it together.
I'm kind of glad that he didn't, though,
I'm
because
glad he
they
didn't.
turned on each other real fast.
Oh, yeah.
you
Both of
guys.
them.
Oh, yeah.
Both of them.
I mean, they came together in the end pretty
Yes.
fast, but
I do think that Davey did a great job of switching the narrative and like making it like we didn't know who had the target on their back. It could have been either one of them. They thought Davey was a smart player. They liked Elizabeth. I for sure thought it was going to be Davey because Kara and Elizabeth had such a good relationship right off the bat. But Davey did a great job of saying, Elizabeth like is doing this and she was the one that threw your name out, Natalia, and X, Y, and Z, and I think that he did a really good job of switching it.
see, but I give kudos to Elizabeth in this dance because as soon as they got back to camp with their new tribes, she was like trying to make relationships. She was talking to Natalia and talking to oh gosh, what was her name? Kara, thank you. And then she's talking to Alec. Like she was literally talking to everybody that she could to kind of persuade, because she obviously knew that her and Davey were going to be on the bottom.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, I give props to her for hustling.
She hustled. I think they both did a great job. I think both of them were really good at trying to get the other one to be voted for, which they had to do. I mean, no shame in that. They did flip on each other really quick, but they really had no choice in this situation. Davey could have just played his idol, but he was smarter than that to not play his idol.
And Alec was a very big figure in this entire plan.
Yeah.
I loved it so much.
You guys, I
Me
think
too.
Alec might be my new crush.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's like adorable and he's really smart. And he's very careful about what he says.
I approve.
You know our fans love when you tell them your crush.
I know. I just like creeped on him and followed him on Instagram.
Oh,
really
here
quick.
she goes.
There she goes. I didn't even follow Dan yet, so I think Alec might be like my real crush.
I think I like Alec and even John better than Dan.
John is like
John
at first
is
it's
like
like, oh, he's this like total bro,
I know,
mucho,
and
like
then he's, like,
massive
so
guy,
cool.
and like he's like so cool,
I
and
love
he's
him.
super sexy. His body's like banging. Okay, I'm done.
Oh, there she goes.
I'm done. I'm sweating.
You got her on her
I
end.
did.
You guys,
I
I'm
did like
sweating.
the calculation that Alec did though when he was
Yeah.
approached by Davy and Elizabeth about maybe possibly voting off one of their Goliath members. Is that Carl would take her place and then the
Right.
Davids would have more of a majority. So then that's something that he has to worry about. But
Yeah.
I mean we'll talk about it. But I'm glad that he brought that up. It shows that he's smart.
Definitely, I agree. And the thing is I kind of think Natalia just dug her own grave today. She would have been completely fine. Alec was the one that initiated this whole blindside. She is so paranoid and she needs everything her way.
Yeah.
She was paranoid. Alec does make the exact point. She needs to have things her way. I didn't like how she, as they were putting it, like bullying
Right.
people
Yes.
into voting certain ways. And the thing that bothered me about Natalia this episode and the previous episode as well is like I feel like she's a passion voter.
Yes.
She votes for people she doesn't like, not for strategic reasons. She didn't really like Natalie. She wanted her out, but then it obviously changed. She didn't like Elizabeth because Elizabeth's relationship with Kara, so she wanted her out.
And to your point,
That's a good
Veronica, I mean, I don't like that she was necessarily bullying people into voting a certain way. And she had said, if you don't vote with us, you have no future in this game. Who are you to say
Whoa.
that?
Yeah.
Like, that's a very bold statement.
bold
Yeah.
statement.
Things change at the drop of a hat.
Yep.
We're like 10 days into a 39-day game. Don't try to say that he has no future in this game. Like, he has just as many allies as you do. Maybe not right now on this exact tribe, but I didn't like that at all.
Agreed. I think that Natalia definitely had a shovel in digging her own grave, just like Jeremy did last episode by calling that whole tribal council or that tribal meeting. I don't understand why. I lost my train of thought.
Why you are the way that you are.
I don't
know.
understand what I was saying.
It's okay. But anyways, Alec in Tribal was whispering to...
Thank
loved
you.
it.
That's
Yes,
what I
I
wanted to
loved
talk
it.
about.
Okay.
I loved it.
You don't understand why Alec maybe went to that extreme in Tribal? Or
I don't
what?
understand what the whispering was all about.
Because I think like Davey had mentioned, he's like, okay, if you decide you want to flip, like let me know in Tribal. And I wish that we knew what he said to Elizabeth, but was he saying, hey, you guys, okay, let's stick with the plan of going with Natalia? Because, or maybe he had just told her in Tribal, hey, I just decided that I'm going for Natalia, for Natalia, and I want you to do it too. And then he told, but the thing is, he whispered to every single person there except for Natalia.
Except for Davy.
Oh yeah,
both of them.
Well,
Both of them.
he didn't whisper to Natalia. He whispered to Kara, who then whispered to Natalia.
Yes.
But he didn't whisper to Davy. So him and Davy obviously already had a plan.
Right.
Yeah.
But why was he whispering to Elizabeth at Tribal? Don't make it that obvious. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it was just to make her paranoid, but I mean, long story short, at this point, I think this season, I'm happy that moves are being made. It might come back to bite him in the butt, but I love that it happened.
I totally agree with you. I think that I love that moves are being made. I really want to know what was whispered.
Yeah, we have to wrap it up soon. But I mean, just quickly, do you guys think it was a smart move on Alex's part?
Yes.
You do? Okay, great. And also, Natalia, you don't have to be so rude when you're leaving Tribal. As Alex said, it is a game. She was like, why are you smiling? Kara, did you know about this? She's so paranoid even after the fact. And it's like, I like how Alec was smiling. He's saying, hey, sorry. And she's like, don't be sorry. Shut up.
I don't think she was paranoid. I think she was just pissed.
and yet she was the one who said, if I go home tonight, it'd be okay.
Yeah, and you have the right to be pissed.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I always respect people that walk out with a smile on their face and
Yeah.
said, you know what, this was a good experience. This was a game. I understand. You didn't have to be so paranoid and maybe that wouldn't have happened. But yeah, what was
Are
that?
we still doing fantasy draft?
I don't know if we have time to be honest.
No. Oh gosh. Okay.
Do we have time to do a draft maybe? I mean, should we just type up our MVP really quick?
Could we just post it?
Yeah, we can post our
That's true.
our
Like
draft.
do it later and post it.
Let's
Yeah.
do that. We'll
Yeah.
do our draft and we'll post it to Twitter.
and we'll open up
talk about
next
week.
episode. What our fantasy?
All right, MVP quick before we wrap up.
There's mine.
Oh my God, you're already done.
Jen.
Oh no!
Okay. See if you guys can guess whose is who.
No pressure, guys.
No pressure. All right.
All right, here we go.
Mix up the votes.
Next up, all three of them.
Vote number 1, we got to cross out, and then Christian.
Oh.
Christian. Number 2, Alec and B.
Alec and B.
I wonder who that could be.
Huh.
Get it?
And vote number 3, Elizabeth. We have 3 different votes.
I like that.
Before we all had the same.
Yeah.
I think B deserves a little bit of MVP shout out because she did what was right for herself and she was
Good for
taking
her.
care of herself. And I'm
Good
happy for
for
her.
her.
Agreed.
Elizabeth, Alec, and Christian. They're all MVPs.
Yeah,
They're all
I
great.
agree. Yeah.
They were all great this episode.
This was a great episode.
This was a great
It was so
episode.
really good. Hats off, Survivor. We love you. That was episode 4,
Yeah.
season
Yeah.
37. So, thank you guys so much for joining us. We loved having you. Sorry, this was a little bit of a short one, but we wanted to get in 2. So let us know how we're doing in the comments. Give us a like, subscribe, and join us next week right here. I'm your host, Paige Bonanno. You guys can find me on all social media at Paige Bonanno.
Hey guys, Veronica Valencia. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at it's me, Veronica_V.
And I'm Timothy Michael. You can find me everywhere at I am Timothy Mike.
We will see you right here next week. Bye, guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.